right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Overshot, a paintball podcast. I'm super happy and super blessed that you guys are joining us once again. Before we get started with our guest, again, we bless you with another new intro for the show. We're going to keep banging these out as we keep playing. The more footage we get from the more things we'll play, we're going to keep doing this for you guys. We like to keep it fresh. So if you're watching, you just watched it. If you're just listening, unfortunately, all you heard was a new song. So I hope you like all the new songs you keep hearing. So, but if you like it and you really want to support me in any way on the show, just share it, man. If you like it, just share it, man. That's all I'm asking. Just share it. Whether you're on YouTube or you're listening to it on Spotify or Apple, you can share it through there. Just share it, man, on your Facebook. So tell your friends. But the other way you can help out the podcast is by going to designsandsports.com, man, and spending some money. They have all kinds of awesome stuff. SF joggers, the Grind Air gloves. They have all, hoodie, different color. It looks the same, but these are actually different. They got, banners behind us. I have all kinds of stuff. Whatever you need from there, man, go check them out. I mean, they're just a great company. They've really helped the podcast out from day one. They've helped Waldo out with a lot of his ventures. So please go check them out and support them. And if you do, use code Overshot when you check out, you'll get 10% off your whole item. Or you can use code Frosty, but I recommend Overshot, and you'll save 10% off your order no matter which code you use. And the other company, of course, that always helps us out up here is Volcano, man. They have the best gear bags on the planet. They have the best gear bags on the planet. They're not roller bags. They go on your back, but they're big. They're not too heavy, so it's not weighing you down. Oh, he's got a fresh. See, we got some freshness right there. I mean, I use it, man, and we're all from the Northeast over here. It really sucks when it's snowing and wet and you got to pull that bag with the wheels through the mud. With these, you never have to worry about that, man. They're the best bags. The code is Overshot10 when you check out Volcano USA, man. And go check it out. They're always coming out with new colors. Their T-shirts are awesome. But now that we're through with that, Steve Solo on the show, the man known as Frosty. Thank you for joining us, dude.
No, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome, man. So there's a ton of stuff I want to dig into, but of course, we got to start where you started, man. So how did paintball find you, and what was your first time playing like?
Oh, geez. I want to say it was sometime around 2000. The dates get fuzzy. But it was, I'm fairly certain it was at Cousins in South Jersey. They had a hyperpipe field, and you guys have played Cousins in South Jersey, right? Yeah. So they used to have a hyperpipe field, and this was just first time outing. My best friend was there. I think my two younger brothers were there as well. And the first round out, bunch of 98 customs, bunch of rentals, didn't know anything. We're all kids. For perspective, I'm 32 now. So this is 2000. This is a long time ago. But I remember crawling up, like low crawling up to this horizontal pipe in the center field and putting my back to it, telling my friend, hey, they're over there. And then he lets off a round and it lands right square in my esophagus. Oof. That was the first time I'm ever hit by a paintball. And it is now 2021 and I'm still playing somehow. So
dude, that was brutal, dude. Damn.
Yeah, that was the introduction of paintball. I think that shot is worse than getting hit in the dick. I truly do.
We call it the Arnold by us. We call it the Arnold by us because after you get shot there, it makes you talk like Arnold Schwarzenegger for me.
It is specifically because of that shot, though, that I tend to wear a schmog pretty frequently when I play. Even more so when I play MagFed because getting a first strike there is worse. But,
oh, my God.
Yeah. But following that, a couple years go by. Went and played a couple more birthday parties, that kind of thing. And then I ended up going to a military academy in southeastern Pennsylvania called Valley Forge. And during my time there, we would we'd have the occasional outing out to skirmish for rec ball days. And my sophomore year, me and some friends got together there at the academy. And like, hey, we want to play more frequently. We want to play more coordinated. And we couldn't make anything happen sophomore year. We didn't have like the juice within our group to do it necessarily. But junior year comes around. We managed to apply within the school's system to get funding to create a club kind of thing. And we get a sponsor. And it happened to be a guy by the name of First Arn Ansbro Dude was Army Ranger, multiple tours in Afghanistan. He is the definition of badass. And he's our club sponsor. So he's like, okay, fine. So we end up going to this place called On the Fly Paintball in Oaks, Pennsylvania. And this is the 05-06 school year. And we enter in 15 kids across 3 5-man lines for like local high school tournament. We got our asses beat. Just plain and simple. We're out there. Well, like I'm out there with an A5 and a 20-inch barrel on an airball field. I do not belong there. Funny enough, this was the same year that same school year. Greg Hastings just happened to be passing through there as well, promoting his video game at the time. So me being junior year, and me being the egotistical little high schooler that I was like, oh, I'll take you on with my A5 and a 20-inch barrel. I got smoked as expected. And dude, like I was playing like
really good. For everyone out there, I got the opportunity to play with Greg one time at a tournament. For people who wanted to go out here and think he's just a celebrity, Greg is a motherfucking baller, dude.
Oh yeah. No, I even as recent as the last time he was at Super Game Maryland, me and him, I watched him just creep through and wipe out people with a pump mag fed before, and I was just like, that is terrifying. He is nothing to scoff at. The whole paintball celebrity thing. Yeah, that sure. You say what you want about that, but he's something behind the trigger. So.
Oh no! Like I said, and I played this tournament I'm talking about was 2018. It was only 2 years ago. He was out there murdering dudes at the ICC, murdering dudes.
So yeah, that was junior year. We did it again senior year, and then I kind of took a step away from paintball because I was focusing on becoming an Army officer at the time. Valley Forge was one of 5 schools in the country that commissions Army officers in 2 years as opposed to 4. So everything that you're supposed to learn those first 3 years of college, as far as military science goes, gets crammed into 1. So the focus was on that. I didn't play for a couple years, not in a like significant capacity. Like we went out, did a couple rec ball days, that kind of stuff. So at this point, never owned my own equipment. I ended up getting commissioned as an Army officer, and then what ends up sparking me saying I'm going to get my own stuff and I'm getting into this again was one of my NCOs in my platoon, one of the sergeants. He was like, hey, let's put together a skirmish rec ball day and everything. I was like, okay, all right. So set that up, and we rolled in there with like 40-something soldiers. It was a great day, but I was like, okay, I need to start playing again. Like that's where the bug caught on.
Soldiers. I love how you call them soldiers, dude. Just like
they were
like 40
they're
dudes.
soldiers.
Like, no.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
I'm sorry. Also, let me rephrase this: 40 man babies. Okay. Granted, I'm one of the younger guys, being the brand new second lieutenant platoon leader. I have all these salty old war dogs for sergeants. I got a couple brand new 18-year-old private guys that are. One of them was my driver, for God's sakes.
You got everybody, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and my platoon sergeant was old enough to be my dad. Like that's just how it was. All these guys have all this experience, and here I am. I'm supposed to be their leader, and that had its moments. But I learned a lot from those guys. Even to this day, I go, oh, that's why they did things the way they did. This like behaved and led the way they did. I'm still like remembering lessons learned and like, oh, that's what they meant. So years later.
Right. Before we get too far down this road, I just want to know what made you want to join the military? Like, is it something that's in your family that's always been done, or what was the driving force?
My grandfather did fight in World War II. He was a tanker. Fought Battle of the Bulge was his big achievement. I never got to meet him, unfortunately. He died when my dad was 11.
Damn.
My dad didn't go to the military. He was an only child. He couldn't get drafted as a result. So he missed Vietnam. For me, I grew up not too far from Manhattan, so I happened to be playing hooky on 9/11, and I watched all that happen on TV like live. I was like, oh, So
that's crazy.
Something
one of those days you never forget, like where you were.
Exactly. It looked like a movie. You couldn't believe you were watching the news. And then I remember hearing the rumble as all the air wings deployed from McGuire down south because we were in the direct flight path. I lived in North Brunswick at the time. So we were in the direct flight path of that, and you just saw the sky instantly fill with military aircraft going towards the city. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, something's going down.
Yeah. So I mean, that was kind of a spark there for it. And then there's a little bit of rebelliousness. Like growing up, my mother, even to this day, will deny it, but she used to threaten me with sending me to Valley Forge if I didn't behave. Well, one day I just got tired of being threatened, and I said, "Okay, I want to go." Much to their dismay.
Go. What about that, Mom?
Exactly. I ended up staying there for 6 years: 4 years of high school, 2 years junior college. Became a commissioned Army officer.
Dude, that's awesome. I just wanted to know what it was like the driving factor there.
Yeah, it was primarily that, and then I mean, you're fed all that propaganda when you're young. You see that's idolized so much in our society. I mean, I have particular feelings about it going both ways, but for what it was effective in a recruiting tool. I'll say that much.
It worked, right?
Yeah, it worked, and I know a lot of my friends that went the same route have either stayed in and gotten out. A couple of them are now, I think, a couple of them are majors, like they're ranking up in officers. I know a couple guys who enlisted, stayed in. So user experience may vary, I will say. So
yeah, because one thing about paintball is like I know I can think of like two guys I know pretty well off the top of my head that are both ex-military. It definitely kind of flocks those kind of people.
Oh yeah, of course, because I mean it's the adrenaline without the death,
right?
Is how somebody describes
you might know Chris. You know the dudes with the crazy tank, Punisher paintball.
Oh yeah, I know that I played with and against them in that tank several times. So yeah.
Me too. It sucks, but no, Chris is a good friend of mine, man. I love Chris.
Yeah. I'm trying to go up to Cousins, Long Island for the big game, so hopefully I'll see them there. But
if you go, we'll be there, dude. I'll see you there.
Oh yeah, definitely. So then right after getting commissioned, I went to Temple University, went and got my master's in behavioral analysis. So psychology, which I've never professionally used, not once. Go figure. You know, I work in the IT field doing resource management now. Go figure. So in June of 2010, it was my youngest brother's birthday, and as kind of his birthday gift, and also because I wanted to do it, I took him to a scenario event, and it was my first scenario event, and it was EMR's Western Wars. And again,
EMR is the fantastic field. I fucking love it there, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I've been up there. It has to be hundreds of times now. Multiple times a year I've been up. So
I top 5 field for me. I fucking love it.
Easily. So EMR Western Wars. I had heard of a team by that point through friends who also played paintball in one capacity or another, and I asked this one friend of mine if they happened to be up there, and I was told they were. So I was told who to look for and everything. That team was TSOC. It's Tri-State Special Operations Command, ESSOC. So this is my first time meeting these guys, and they were kind enough to give me and my younger brother some food. There's a running joke: I'm terrible Italian. I don't really do tomato sauce. So me mentioning that day has hung with me for well over 10 years now. So yeah, that was a whole thing, and still to this day has been.
My girlfriend's Italian. I pretty much bleed tomato sauce.
I tolerate it on my pizza, and that's about it. To be honest, it just doesn't sit well with me. I don't know. Right? Let me taste everything else. I don't want to just taste tomato sauce. My girlfriend's over here shaking her head. She's Korean too, so that tells you something. She says she's more Italian than me.
Trying to get as far away from the tomato sauce as possible.
No, she loves the stuff. Anyway, so at that point, I asked them what the process was for joining the team, and by I think it was November 2010, I had gone through their 6-month application process, where you basically it's just playing with them, getting to know them, making sure you're social fit and you are not a complete dullard on the field and can work together. And
was this like your first organized team?
Yeah, as far as going into the scenario world, yeah. I mean, if you want to count high school, the 3 5-man lines that we had for the local high school tournament, no, we got annihilated in those. So, but yeah, as far as like team, like, yes. Yeah. So we it is EMR again, November 2010, and it was it was the first Ganglands game that they did there. It was a scenario where there was two gangs, and then TSOC were the cops. And the cops could have two confidential informants that were spies on the two teams, and I was one of them. So
this was within your first year of playing scenarios. You were a spy.
Is all in the first year of playing. So
always wanted to,
I have feelings about spies. It's not all it cracks up to be generally, and it hurts friendships potentially. So you have to be really, really careful. So, but I get there, I ride up with a bunch of the guys on the team, and before the day starts, they all gather up and they decide to dub me. They welcome me onto the team officially, give me my patches, and dub me Frosty, because with TSOC, the team picks your name. You don't get to. In fact, on the application form, on the application form, if you put any name in that call sign, it is a guarantee that you were not getting that name. So, and me at the time, I put my actual call sign from the Army, which at the time I think was Blackjack 2-1. So
I thought a bad one either, though. That one's pretty good.
So yeah, that's when I started with TSOC, and I played with TSOC all the way up until July 4th of 2020 is when I decided, when I announced that I was leaving the team. So, middle of COVID.
Almost 10 years.
Yeah, just shy of 10 years. So 10 years of meeting them, just shy of 10 full years on the team. And during my time there, we went to hundreds of scenarios. I traveled with these guys to Canada to go to PRZ, which if you have not gotten to go to that field ever, it is amazing. It
looks amazing.
So for people listening that have never heard of PRZ paintball, you're missing out. It is Disneyland for CQB paintball is the best way to put it. It was a Canadian Army medical rehab facility, and then it became, I think, a mental institution. I'm not 100% clear on that, but whatever it was went into default, and they lost the whole thing, and somebody bought up the property and turned it into a paintball field. There's a massive 3-story building with room-to-room fighting. There's a blacked-out gymnasium and classroom area. There's another 2-story building, and then you have all of the surrounding grounds to it.
So sick.
Which it is terrifying going through there in the dark. And for MagFed players, it's a wonderful time. Even if you're not a MagFed player, going through those hallways and peeking corners, take your Warzone skills elsewhere. This is you're not going to survive in that. So.
No, dude, for sure. So what were you talked about PRZ, but what were some of the other fields when you were on TSOC that like you really enjoyed?
So I got to play the final Living Legends at CPX in just outside Chicago. That was Living Legends 10 in 2017. That was awesome to be a part of that and play the final one.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm saddened that was the only time I ever got to play it.
At least you got there. I never did.
Yeah.
So enjoy it, dude.
That's true. Yeah. Missed out on a little piece of history there. Then
I definitely did. No, you're 100% right, dude.
Command Decisions down in North Carolina. I've been down to numerous times for Folda Gap. And in fact, this past November, David Justin, Reaper, asked me to XO for him for the Warsaw side for that, because the official Folda Gap was scrapped. So they were going to do a one-day event. And Pete Russell, who ran the place at the time, he no longer does. He has his own place in South Carolina, Palmetto Hills, I believe. Command Decisions is now run by Eric Angler, which I'm excited to see with him. And I think he's got Mamba involved from Capital Defense. And I'm excited to see what they do to that game and that field, because I know they both are just full of ideas for that stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I got to XO
for Warsaw. If you don't know who Eric Angler is, just type him into the Google machine, because we don't have time to explain. Just type him into Google. You find out all you need to know.
You're one of the most creative people in our industry and community, by far. The guy he's awesome. And he's a super nice dude too. he helped me out a lot because I knew I was coming into a losing scenario with the Warsaw thing. And him and Mamba helped me and David out immensely, and I couldn't be more thankful for that. What else? Not with TSOC, but while I was on TSOC, I went out to San Diego to play Dominion 3, which is a pretty significant MagFed event. That was at Jungle Island Adventure or something along those lines outside San Diego.
Right.
Really cool park, though. Yeah, really cool park. And then I played the final Snake Eater in Texas, November of 2019, with same group of MagFed guys that I traveled out there with. So most of the time, my fields are all here in the Northeast. Home fields, OXCC. I'm lucky that I get to go there as frequently as I do. In fact, I'm down there this coming weekend. Field.
We're down there. I've been flat. There 100 times.
That's flat, dude. That's key,
man. Flat.
For scenario players, that matters.
No, that matters a lot. I don't know, man. I never liked West Point. This guy likes West Point. I never.
Oh god,
dude, I was about to talk about that,
man. But I never liked that game.
That hill.
Not enough involved for me. There's not enough involved. It's a bucket on a hill.
Lake Frederick, West Point. I have nightmares of that hill still. That was just terrible. But that was also one of the first times I ever used a first strike round, and this is back when most of the platforms were all pistols. They didn't do rifles a whole lot yet. And Tiberius had the full rifle set up for the pistol as an attachment. So one of my teammates on TSOC, Bishop, let me use it a couple times, and I think I domed somebody at like 76 yards downhill. So I know that hurts.
Are insane.
I have many times given first strike rounds to speedballers on the field. I just making sure they have the right bore. You got to have at least a 6.85. And I'm like, here, ramrod this thing down your barrel and fire. You'll be fine. And they're like,
load. I do it all the time.
It. Yeah, muzzle load. I mean, first strike rounds are the only rounds you can pick up off the ground and still use. So.
Because what happens with a lot is dude with first strike will try and long ball me, and it'll roll up to my feet, and I'll just pick it up,
in the hopper.
Stick it on down.
Yeah. So, God, I'm excited for this coming June because I'll be playing Super Game in Indiana and getting to go to Sherwood Forest finally.
Sure.
Yeah, that's been on my bucket list for a while.
I've heard nothing but good things. Waldo's been one time. I mean, it sounds epic, dude. I'm excited for it. To go.
Yeah, Shane from Destiny's Army invited me to come play with them. In fact, they were kind enough to patch me and Mamba in as honorary members of Destiny's Army during Bones and Ashes, which is at Black Ops in North Carolina, which I'm going back to again in just a month from now for Living Legends 13. So I wasn't expecting to play that field twice this year, but I'm extremely happy to. That's another great field if you haven't gotten to go down there.
It's a dope field. I met the owner. I toured the facility, and I still haven't gotten down to play it because...
I mean, Living Legends is coming up.
And that's what, May 15th and 16th?
Yeah, it's that weekend, 14th through the 16th, man. Come on down. Come play blue with me. I got a whole legion.
2 events that same weekend.
I know. Oh God, I gotta say, with COVID and everything, because being sponsored with Dizan and everything, I want to also support the speedball events and help Tim out with booths and whatever's necessary, at least in region. But at the same time, I have to also pay attention to the scenarios and. Example being Super Game Indiana weekend is also the same weekend as NXL Philly. So I can't do both. Something. Yeah, it's always something. So it's a little frustrating.
Yeah, but, for us, that weekend is Woodsball World Cup. And we literally 2 days ago just gave our confirmation to Kevin Donaldson that Overshot will be there with the booth. So,
and we're also playing, and our Young Guns kids, I call them the Young Guns kids team. There's some older guys on it, but we have a kids team playing Matt's out back at the OPS on Sunday, so I was supposed to.
Yep.
Oh wow!
I wanted to do the Living Legends. Once I saw that it got moved, I was like, perfect. This is the perfect game. Not the perfect date.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with it next year. So.
Yep.
When's the Hawaiian one? That's the one I want to go to.
Hawaii. So this year was supposed to be the final Hawaii one. Obviously, that got bumped back because COVID and nothing could be guaranteed. So I believe he's doing that February 2020. So save up your money now.
There's nothing in February. Nothing speedball is until April. So February,
exactly, yeah.
Perfect time.
Yeah, speedballers hibernate till April. Scenario guys are out there in the snow in January.
Right. Dude, speedballs are just coming out.
I'll go to Maui. That's different.
Yeah, exactly. Very different. Yeah. I priced out that trip. And if you were to buy your stuff, like your tickets and everything now, you will save so much money. But that airline price ain't staying low much longer. I know that. Everything's opening up again. Yep. So, but yeah. After leaving TSOC, I have gone independent. I'm on my own, and I've partnered with Tim and Dizana. I was actually talking to Tim about, before I left TSOC, about possibly bringing TSOC into the Dizana family, which ended up happening anyway, which I kind of laughed at a little bit. So my partner in the scenario sponsorship program, Panda, he works with them and invited them to join us and everything. So I thought that was fantastic. But yeah, so since July last year, the plan between Tim and I was kind of expand Dizana into the scenario world a little bit more, because pretty solid footing within the tournament world, and it's growing. Obviously, I mean, we got Seattle Thunder now. Watching that whole interview with Patty and everything, that was great yesterday. The last session, by the way, which fantastic job, guys.
I love talking to him. He was great, dude.
I've heard nothing but great things about him. Tim just rants and raves. I'm worried that he's going to start carving into a tree, the two of them, soon enough. So, but the plan was to bring Dizana into the scenario world a bit. So,
dude, it's a good market if you think about it. Like, I love joggers because they're not like super expensive for pants. Like, they're really affordable, and more people play scenarios than do tournaments. Like, the numbers just say that. So to have your foot in that market is a smart strategy.
With the joggers specifically,
you're talking 30 jerseys.
Sorry,
talking 30 jerseys versus 10 jerseys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Scenario teams are usually big, so that's how I look at it, at least.
Scenario players don't necessarily buy new jerseys every year, though. A lot of tournament teams do. So there's a little bit of a handoff there. I did a bunch of market research on this. So so later into last year, so the October-November timeframe, Tim approached Panda and I about standing up a sponsorship program for the scenario teams. And so we really dug into looking into what are the offerings from competitors, other people within the apparel space, and where do we bring value into this? Like, what's to say they should go with us over one of the other ones? And how do you do that and still be professional about it and not sound like an asshole? So we essentially want to partner with we are partnering with these teams, because as Dizana grows, we want to see them grow as well. So I'm very much big about like promoting the teams that we're bringing in, anything they're posting on social media.
Huge.
We share out both on my personal one, on the Dizana one. So you've probably seen more of that stuff start showing up on the Dizana feeds. Because so much of scenario paintball is just promotion, both of events and of teams themselves. So that helps teams be seen by people who maybe want to join teams, helps them be seen by other potential sponsors for them, so they can grow in other ways that we're not covering necessarily. I mean, we're not making hardware. We're not making paintball guns, are we? Right. So I got Tim working on other stuff. That paintball guns are not one of them, though.
Tim's in the lab, but he's not making guns.
Oh, yeah. I got him working like a mad scientist. But speaking of the joggers specifically, we so scenario players like pockets, like cargo pockets. Joggers kind of lacking that. So Tim and I have kind of come up with a concept for something a little bit more scenario focused that we are working on quietly. Well, here's a hint towards it, I guess.
Breaking news. I love it. Breaking news on the podcast.
Tactical joggers, dude. Tactical joggers.
A little bit more durable. I'm thinking, because I mean, you're crawling out there through thorn bushes and everything. You're going to eventually bust a seam. It's just going to happen. And like the Dizana joggers are very durable for what they are, for as thin as they are.
I have yet to rip a pair. I have about, I think at this point, 6 pairs because they don't break. I just keep getting new ones.
You're like Panda. Panda has like a whole closet full of these things. I'm like, dude, I got like 2 pair.
Well, and here's the thing is because all my friends are also sponsored by Dizana. So when they come out with like pants for them, I'm like, yeah, I'll buy a pair. Yeah, I'll buy a pair. And I'm like, but it's not like, I have so many.
No, I mean, it makes sense. So, but no, I'm Tim and I have worked together now for this coming up shortly to a year. And I couldn't be happier than this partnership we have together because it's fantastic. I feel like that I feel like he takes care of teams the way teams should be taken care of. I'll put it that way. So
no, I love him. That's why when he jumped on board for the podcast, I was super happy for many of the reasons like you were saying before. It's a thing that can grow together. Like as his company grows and the show grows, like hopefully it all grows together.
Yeah, that's the idea. So outside of that, I'm also sponsored by Ryan Sexton's Brigade program. It was with GI, other side of my chest, looking at the mirror image here. Brigade program
all the time.
I don't know if you guys. I remember saying you were like, "Oh yeah, no other side jerseys." I don't know if you guys remember the Spec Ops program from like the early 2000s.
They had the dopest camo. I wish I still had my Special Ops Fusion pants and jersey. Honestly,
the camo pattern you couldn't beat. It was a great camo pattern. I keep poking Tim like, "Yo, you know what you need to." He's like, "No, stop asking."
The Omni patch, the brown one. The brown one was the dope one. That works so well. If someone,
it blended in.
I'm getting that out.
I think I wore some of that stuff as Op 4 on a training run for some of the younger cadets at one point at the academy. I wore that stuff instead of like normal uniform stuff because it blended in better than because when I became an officer, we were just switching into the digital like ACUs and the moon camis, and terrible. The only way they work is if they're filthy after 7 days. So, multicam was a welcome change there, but so you have Spec Ops back in the day. The more modern version of it is the Brigade program. You can go to brigadeprogram.com and learn about it, but essentially it's you can earn event patches by going to Brigade event specific games, checking in with the Brigade rep. So in the Northeast here, it tends to be me. The far Northeast, it might be somebody like Devin Schwartz or somebody. Mm-hmm. And we're handing out these patches. And then once you collect like 3 patches, doesn't matter in a gap of time, just 3 event patches, you can earn the larger trifecta patch. You can, if you win MVP at one of these games, you get the Snake Eater patch. You get, if you command one of these, there's a general patch. So it's a bunch of like cool patch swag achievement stuff. Yeah. And it's just a way to like, hey, folks, look at this game here. There's an event patch. You get free stuff. Come get it. So people and paintball players, especially scenario players, love their patches. So makes sense.
Yeah, and they love to show where they've been too. Like even I kind of always try and keep a little something from every scenario game I go to, whether if it's like Jack of props, sorry, RJ, another promoter, if you're missing props. Well, like just to, but or patches. I know what you're
talking about.
I've never taken a prop ever.
I've stolen multiple from EMR. Their Gold Rush event.
I just looked over at one I have taken from EMR. So yeah.
Sorry, nothing like Rush event. I have a bunch of those.
But it's not against the rules. They didn't write I can't take it.
The last Game of Bones event. The last Game of Bones event at EMR. I have a couple of the red, the Targaryen dragon eggs that were brick tops. So those are. I have a couple sitting on the table over here. So those are there. They're just little red balls. They're nothing big like you were to go into a ball pit. That's all they are. But it's just like, that's my little trophy.
Yeah, that's like I saved some of these. So we had played a big game on Long Island. God, I don't know. Time kind of flies. I feel like it was a couple months ago, but it was like a COVID-based game, and you had to get the antibodies, which were these ping pong balls. I definitely kept some of those. I had to. Great. I couldn't help myself.
That's great.
I thought
So
you were going to tell me you kept the Yeti poop or whatever. Remember those? Whatever that game was, we were picking up Yeti poop or some shit.
Yeah, and his pee was like they put like yellow paper in a pod, and it was supposed to be his pee.
Oh, jeez. Well,
I did not keep any of that.
Speaking of scenarios, so I, with a group of friends, we call ourselves a Cypher Scenario Consulting Group, partnered with Solstice Law, who many of us know is the reffing crew for a lot of these scenarios that we play. Some of the best people in the business, some of the best people, just bottom line.
I'm glad you brought this up. This is on my list to talk about.
Yeah, I'm working through it. So this coming December at OXCC, it is December 4th. I am producing with these guys for the first time an event called The Collapse. The Collapse is based in the early 80s. We're talking like Reagan's first term kind of time period. Cold War, CIA versus KGB. It's going to be a one-day scenario. There will be no lunch break, no union break for this game.
Yes.
There's no final battle, but there will be a final mission sequence. We're doing a pure scenario for this.
Is there spies?
More details. No, we're not going to do spies. I'll touch on the spy thing in a second. I'll tell you why we're not doing spies.
Medics.
More information to be released. I got to drip feed this stuff, man. I got to keep the hype up for this game. So
I'm just saying, I want a real scenario game, not a big game. I want a scenario game. That's why I don't play
and it will be a scenario. I will tell you that for a fact. We will have mission specific stuff that is storyline driven. We will have, if people want to come and play and fight over territory, there'll be stuff for them to do. If people want to wander around the field and pick up props and play Easter egg hunt all day, there will be something for them to do. For the people who want to embed themselves in the story that we are building and run the missions and figure out what this is all about, there's going to be definitely stuff for them to do. So trying to appeal to different types of players for this game specifically. And we're really excited for it. It's to the point where we have all of these ideas. Now we have to somehow cram it into the limited amount of time that we have because we're limited by daylight being December. The reason we're going for December, obviously, is partially because of the theme. It's a region of Eastern Europe, the Eastern Bloc area that we have made up called Strasdaq. And so it's going to be cold. Now, historically, that weekend in December is a safe weekend weather-wise. It's usually a gorgeous weekend. This past December, that weekend, I held one of my MagFed meetups, and it was beautiful weather. You were outside in a T-shirt. As the sun started to go down, you needed a hoodie. That's about it. So we're happy with that date. Also, because the rest of the calendar is packed right now. I mean, us trying to put it in, we would be sitting on top of somebody else's weekend. We don't want to cause any ire with other producers or other fields.
Dude, it's tough right now. Like, everything's opening back up. Everyone's trying to run events and get some events going.
No, it really is. So our CIA team is going to be led by Brian Thaxton from Creekfest, and his XO will be Rob Firefly Rivera from M80. Both are Dizana teams. So, I'm sure you guys are familiar with the two of them. And then our KGB team will be led by Teddy Bear of the East Coast Hunters and my partner Panda from Black Lotus. So it's a Dizana family civil war almost at this point. So we have a pair of Russian bears, basically. So I'm excited to see.
I have friends on both sides. Whoever is going to pay me more and give me more stuff, that's who I will fight for. I'm openly shilling right now.
Well, wait a minute. You didn't say if there's a third party, dude. Is there a third party?
So all the role players will be handled by the Cypher crew and the Solstice crew. Okay. A lot of the Solstice guys have expressed interest in doing more than just reffing. So we'll be cycling, depending on the hour and maybe stuff that's going on in the field. I'm trying not to leak stuff and make stuff blatantly obvious. But we may cycle some refs off so they can be role players in particular missions, so they can have some fun with it. So because we want to give them a different experience as well. Because generally they go to these games, they're just refs, or maybe they're holding a prop item for somebody out in the field, and that's it. So we want to give them something a little bit more to do. And we have some great guys working on a phenomenal story. we finally decided on what our MacGuffin was, and we're filling out the other small particulars in between right now. So I'm very excited for it. I did take part as kind of low level for the production for a couple of T-Sox games in the early teens. We did a production called Rome 2045, I think it was, at Poco Loco back when it was T-Sox home field. Then we did Fallout New Vegas at OXCC. That was in 2013. And then we did an original production called Red Star Rising at OXCC in 2015. So New Vegas, Fallout New Vegas was my favorite one that we did because we actually built the signs out and had those mounted on the field and transformed the field. So you going around, you're like, oh, that's tough.
Fantastic video game.
Yeah, it was absolutely. That's one of the few games I've gone back and replayed a few times. I can't say I've done that with 3 or 4, if I'm being honest.
I haven't replayed 4.
The only time I was with 4 is if I'm throwing mods on it because I only play on the PC.
So I will agree. Some of the mods are a good time, man.
Yeah, when you change some of the enemies into like Thomas the Tank Engine bursting through the wall, it makes it real fun.
Yeah, it makes it real fun. Sorry, Waldo, this is gaming nerd shit, but yeah.
No, I know, man. I'm just trying to remember if I played Poco Loco, but I'm just trying to remember if I played that game. Like, I just remember it was like this. It was Rocky.
Yeah, if Poco Loco is rocks, you need knee pads to play that one.
Was there any other games ever played there? Like, besides the ones you guys did? No, then, right? Because I think it was the only T-Sox had a game there. Like,
I think so. I think that might actually be the case because before I came onto the team, there was also they did I want to say it was a Fallout game there too. I'm not sure, but there was a big bomb that they made. So, but
there was like a big castle on the top, right, or something.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember, man.
Army of Darkness. We did Army of Darkness there. That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I played because I remember a picture of me with a bunch of like plastic shotguns and toys and stuff, and I remember
there you go. Yeah.
Like, what is that? Yeah,
bro, have you not seen the movie? Yeah, plastic shotguns, dude.
It's like when I went to Sherwood the first time and I never saw it was Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So I'm going out there and I played enough scenario games I can get by, but these guys are going and I'm like, what the hell are these? And they're going like Mardi Gras.
That's basic too, man. The nice to say
like wampum right. Well, I didn't see the movie till later that night. But and then they're like, we want shrubbery. So I start picking up grass clippings, and then I'm like, they're like, no, not from our woods. I ran over. I literally grabbed like a bush out of the ground, gave it to them. They threw more Mardi Gras beads at me. I went back to the general, and I was like, oh, here's all this shit that this has got to be something. This has got to be something we need. Hopefully it's not a bomb. We're good.
And for all the tournament players, that is what scenario paintball is like right there. Dude, you have to know obscure movie shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of Holy Grail, I know EMR
get hit with paddles.
EMR has Viper doing his Holy Grail game at the end of September this year as well. I know that. So,
my birthday is in September. I might have to make a weekend.
Dude, I do like myself. I haven't been to a Viper game in a while.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't make that one. I'll be at a MagFed event out on Cousins, Long Island for that weekend, unfortunately. So.
Oh, is that Herc's thing?
Oh, damn.
That's Herc's thing, and I committed to that early, and EMR bumped their weekend back.
Okay, perfect. Because I was just going to ask about this, so we're going to do this now. So I was actually at that event. He actually had me ref it, believe it or not. So I remember seeing you there. So what did you think of that whole event? Because to me, it was wild. First of all, I was playing airball in the morning doing a practice, and then like, we need refs. Could you go ref? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, all right, Herc, like, I've played a decent amount of paintball. What am I doing here? He's like, you don't know any of the rules. Your only job is to tell players if they're eliminated or if they're not. I'm like,
yeah.
All right, dude, but these people are gonna ask me questions. Like, they're like, and you don't.
No, but that's good. He said that though.
So with Herc's games, so for those watching, Herc is captain of the Undertakers, who's it's a MagFed paintball team here in the Northeast, New York heavy. He runs MagFed only scenarios, and his longest running one is Cell Team 6. So the game Travis is referencing is Cell Team 6 Carpe Diem. It is meant to be a take on Modern Warfare until I did something. And
I don't know. It was wild. Dudes needed key cards. There were things that needed battery. Like,
yeah.
legit.
So
like
his
I had no
flag
idea what the fuck
points,
was going on.
he has built out RFID flag stations, and it's not run up and like flip a switch or anything. No, you need specific key fobs to do things. So there's one to just change it to your color from when it's neutral. Change it to your color. If it's the enemy color, you need to. He had it attached to a makeshift looking C4 kind of prop. You need to demo the flag station, so you need to blow it up. So you scan that prop on the RFID swipe. It changes it to, I want to say, yellow. It looks like an explosion graphic going up the LEDs. It's awesome. And then you need an engineer to come fix it. So engineer swipes his thing, fixes it. It turns green, I think, and then you use your team's RFID thing to flip it to your team's color. So dude, that's how all of those work. And Herc had this gigantic metal cylinder bomb thing and an RFID attached to the nose cone of it. And they had to carry this thing that takes about 4 people to move, both for the length of it and the weight, and take it to each of the RFID flag stations for points for mission each day. On top of, he has his teammates work for me as the third faction guy, as well as do the reffing bit. So it takes a lot of stress off of Cousins needing to supply refs. But we had a lot more people for that event than we anticipated because we were going through the COVID lockdown, and this was just as paintball fields were allowed to start having scenarios again.
Yeah.
So
I saw the look on poor Steve's face. It was like, dude, I need you to do me a huge favor. I was like, yeah, dude, whatever the fuck you need.
Yeah. Now, Steve just did me a massive favor. I have my MagFed meetup at OXCC this coming weekend.
I'm going to say this weekend, right?
Yeah. First strike rounds are very hard to come by right now. OX, I think, only Brian Barno said he can only find me 2 cases there. Players need to buy rounds sometimes, and I don't want to be able to be like, hey, I don't have any. So Steve hooked me up because I was at Herc's other event at Cousins in South Jersey last weekend. Steve Casano hooked me up with 3 cases of first strikes for my event coming up. So big thanks to him again.
Dude, he's the real one. I love that man.
No, he's great. I'm always happy to work with him on literally anything. So and Cousins has a special place in my heart because I got shot in the neck the first time there. So.
Yeah, dude, Steve has done so much for me, so that place is always going to hold like a little something for me.
Yeah. So my role with Herc's games are that I run the third faction mercenaries. I'm kind of the balancer. If one side's just getting their shit pushed in, I can be like, okay, let's do this. Because at one point during that specific game, one team was completely spawn camping the other. So I just walked out. I had a double barrel shotgun with 2 first strikes in it. And I walked up. I just tapped the barrel of it next to, I think it was blue team that was getting spawn trapped by red, which was the only time that ever happened that game because blue dominated it. I tapped the insertion barrel. And I just walked down the tape line inbounds, and like everyone knows me. I'm chill and like I'm coming up and talking to players. I'm like checking on them. Hey, how you doing, player? And one's like prone next to a bunker, and he's out of sight of the rest. And I just put the barrels to him like, you're out. He's like, motherfucker. And I went through and I cleared out maybe about a dozen players before somebody finally realized what I was doing. And I just turned
that on me. I've had that shit happen way too many times, bro. We may be friends off the field, but if you're not on my team and you're walking up to me, you're getting shot, my dude.
Well, nobody had seen me come on the field to do anything yet that day. That was the thing. So they didn't know what I was doing.
I've seen Herc do that 1,000 times.
Yeah, exactly. He is the master of doing it. If you see Herc just walking and he's in bounds and he does not have his hand up or something, shoot him. Out of habit, shoot him. Be nice about it, but shoot
on
him.
Our team,
I've learned that from playing scenario games, man. That's like why, like even in airball, like people will be, and I'll just throw a couple extra balls, and they'll be like, "Yo, what up? I'm out," and I'm like,
"Sorry, gun's not out, man. I couldn't tell."
Me, barrel tag me or blow up my base.
Herc, sorry, dude.
Yeah. So,
when
Herc has
when I play big games, I always like the general will do their thing. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Okay, listen, there's a dude on the other team. His name is Hercules. Always shoot him. Always. Especially
sure.
if he's behind us. Always shoot him.
Yeah. So yeah, Herc has me run the third faction, and as part of for that specific game, I was also controlling what missions went active when, and where. So through just the natural evolution of that game, I ended up creating zombies by accident, and we released zombies against one of the lines at one point because they were spawn camping, and it was right after a mission where the teams had to corral using that like weak engineer tape. These Undertaker players that were infected and drag them back to my location. And I saw a spawn camp happening. I asked, hey, what do you guys want to do? You want to zombie rush them? They're like, what kind of zombie? I said, 28 days later, rage virus zombie. They're like, yes. So I blew up the Humvee tank that was sitting right in front of my base, in front of my little outpost. And I just yelled, zombie, zombie, zombie. And you just saw like 6 or 7 Undertakers rush this line of blue players who did not know what to do. Dudes were falling back on themselves, shooting up into the sky.
Tripping over each other.
It was hilarious. And it wasn't like some overpowered thing. It was just, I needed to clear them off anyway because they were spawn camping red now. So I was like, all right, all's fair.
Yeah.
So the fun part about that game, though, Herc so we do night games for his games, and all the Undertakers
for that. I was like, sorry, dude,
I don't blame you. Unless all of the Undertakers have night visions and or thermal optics. So part of the night mission for the 2 teams was they had to find and capture me. So I had to play hide and seek all night, and I found a nice little hidey hole with one of the Undertaker players because.
Where'd you hide? It's my home field, so I know that every square inch.
So on the high side, there's like it's like a trench, and there's a little lean-to over. I hid right there, and in the dark, people couldn't see me because I mean, look, this is a pretty dark colored jersey,
and it's a small lean-to too. So
yeah, so I had one of Herc's guys with a thermal scope on his MG 100. Facing out this way, I'm facing out the other, and we sat there for an hour. Nobody found us, and I said, okay, General Barkov has escaped because I was getting eaten alive by bugs.
Mosquitoes.
Yeah. If they haven't found me yet, it's done.
There's a pond near there, so the mosquitoes get bad at night.
Yeah, I realized that. So, and that was late September, so it was perfect time for them. But so this year, General Barkov is returning, and things will happen. That's the best thing I can say. He's given me a couple ideas of what he's doing, and I'm bringing a couple more people to have fun with it. But.
Dude, awesome. No, I just remember those games being super fun, and I thought it'd be good for our listeners that are trying to get into MagFed to hear what those games are about. Because I said, I've never played a MagFed only game before, and just watching it from the outside, you should. Because Kirk will play if you let us play for free.
No, not free, man. It just gets expensive, man. It was like $90 for 200 first strikes. I don't play, I don't play that stuff normally. So I'm
90 for 200.
I don't know what it was. I don't know the pricing, man. I might be throwing out numbers I don't really know.
It's $50 for a bag of 150 right now.
So what was the $90 for then? Maybe
that's his tip.
Maybe it was getting more than that. I don't know, man. But I wanted because my boy was like, yo, if we go, we got to shoot the first strikes because it's MagFed. Like, I don't know.
You're at a disadvantage if you're not using it.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, whatever. I got to get to a MagFed game. I want to.
And there's so many different types of MagFed players. You have, obviously, your super tactical guys who want to be fully geared up, look like the most tier 1 operator. And then you have dudes that run out there in the Slinkini wielding dual pistols and just laughing at everybody. It is the same as normal scenario.
It's like any other scenario,
yeah. And I know there's this perception that there's all these MagFed players and they only play this specific way, super serious, super tech. No, they don't. Sorry. I had at my December MagFed meetup, I had these dudes wearing Santa hats, red and blue Santa hats, going after presents, as mission props. Like it's a really good group of people. I know it's intimidating looking at it maybe from the outside, as like in general, not necessarily you guys, but in general, looking at it from the outside, like, oh God, they're all like looking like a SWAT team ready to kick down a door, and it's not like that at all. So
it's just
it's
tough
really
for me because I'm so used to shooting like how I normally shoot. So like I've played MagFed a couple of times for walk on, and I'm just like fucking out of paint, dude. God damn it.
Yeah. Play pump and you'll get a similar experience. Just don't bring out all of your pods. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
So eventually one day I'll build a nice pump gun.
Awesome, dude. So, I mean, I thank you for being so gracious with your time. I do have a couple more questions. One
No,
of them
go for
definitely short. So this big game at the end of the year for you, is it MagFed only or is it open to all
No,
players?
I'm sorry. That is an open class game.
Hell yeah.
So we wanted everybody to be involved in it. I run MagFed only meetups at OXCC, but I wanted to do an open class scenario because that allows us a lot more flexibility. It opens up to more players that can enjoy what we're trying to build out for them. Because we would very much like it to be not just a one-off. We want to do these at least yearly going forward and build out the story. Nope, can't say that. Okay, sorry.
Damn,
are there going to be role players?
I'm building in things. We have story elements that the players will be able to direct what happens with the story.
Yeah, dude! I'm really excited for this, dude. I think you guys are gonna crush it, dude.
I'm certainly hoping we will. Otherwise, I'm going to have a lot of egg on my face. Good thing I like egg.
Dude, we'll be there. I mean, I'm definitely going to be playing. So
no, please. Anybody watching, anybody listening, whatever, come on down. December's a long way out. We are going to be doing super early bird reg as well as normal pre-reg. Early bird reg is going to start at $35 for the day, and then paint is $55 a case. Paint's going to be Prestige, which is OXCC's brand of paint. For anybody concerning MagFed, the round ball holds up fantastically in all of the mags, and the paint shoots well out of anything. If I'm being completely
I've been there plenty of times. I mean, it shoots straight. It's not super brittle, so like you said, it should be fine for the magazines. Yeah,
it's a great paint. Early bird reg will be $35 for entry and $55 a case. You can pre-buy as much as you like. In fact, I encourage you to. We'll also have first strikes available for pre-reg because right now with first strikes production, the only way you're really getting first strikes these days is if you have an event and you're pre-registering to get an order ahead of time. Then that will go through the second weekend of October, which is Endless Legends. Following Endless Legends, that early bird reg will expire, and we'll just go to standard pre-reg, which will bump up the registration to $45, and paint will still stay at $55. Because we're trying to keep it as cheap as possible so people can plan it out ahead of time. But if you're one of those people that's going to wait until the day before or day of, that registration is going to be $55. So
that's
plan ahead.
You should be used to that.
Planning.
Yeah, plan ahead, people.
Purposes, man.
That's really what it is.
I run paintball tournaments.
Exactly. It helps us
maintain. So wait a minute. Also,
good.
Now, don't Dizana team? I saw an announcement that Dizana teams get a discount on certain scenario events. Is this one of those scenario events?
Yes, it will be.
Okay.
When we push that out, I don't know if it's on the flyer. I think it is, but it should say the collapse on there. So yeah, all Dizana sponsored teams can reach out to myself or Panda in case you don't already have the code. But Dizana teams get 15% off for that event.
Let's go.
Right there. A little bit of value add there. But try and take care of the family, you know?
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited about that game, like incredibly. Getting to really put some ideas that have kicked around in our collective heads for a while. Okay, how can we put this into a game and make it make sense and make it enjoyable for the players? So, but yeah. What was your next one?
And my next and last one is I want to know what point did you make the transition to MagFed only, and why did you decide to do that?
So I'm not MagFed only.
Okay.
A lot of people seem to think that because I know a lot of my photos all have me with MagFed markers.
I'm going to say just every time I see you, it seems like you're at a MagFed game.
No, I do both. So my one car is a T15, and then my other car is a Mini GS. So
nice. Okay, so that's good. Let's go.
Yeah, I love my Mini. The thing has never failed me. It was funny actually. Living Legends 2019. There was a big rainstorm that hit on Saturday, and a bunch of people coming off with their electros and stuff. I'm going out while it's a monsoon, and I was staging with the Tipman and Empire techs and everything. And they're like, "Hey, you want a bag for your gun?" I was like, "A bag?" They're like, "Yeah, isn't it gonna fail?" I was like, "No, this thing never does." I go out there, I'm shooting. It is full monsoon. There's a picture of me hunkered down behind a bunker. I'm just drenched in water. And I come back. They're like, "Oh, told you to chill." I was like, "No, I'm out of paint. I need more paint." So I was like, "My Mini is just yeah." My Mini is just a workhorse. It is held up. I'm happy with it. I have nothing against like people who want to run like the 1.6s and 170s and all that stuff. I don't need a Ferrari in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. That's my view on it. So they're great markers. I don't necessarily need all of the bells and whistles. I'm fine with what I have. So.
No, God bless you, dude. I got the sickness. I can't help myself. I'm like a sick puppy.
I have a pretty strict rule about how many paintball markers I'll own at the same time. I'm actually looking to sell my T15 because I want to get on that MG train. I got to use one at the end of 2019, and I was like, I want one of these. And then COVID hit and everything. I was like, well, looks like I'm holding on to this marker for a while. Couldn't really sell a T15. But now that things are opening up again, I know a lot of people are buying markers again, so I'll probably be listing it around there.
Perfect. You got no gun sponsorship or anything like that, right?
Not currently, no.
Perfect. No. Yeah, get rid of that T15. That thing is garbage, dude. The PE engine is perfect.
I love the MG. Don't get me wrong, I love the MG, and I pair it with an Nemesis barrel. It's fantastic for me. I don't have any problems with my T15. I really don't.
I don't believe you. You're lying. Don't lie to my viewers.
Mine runs full. I take care of my stuff, though. That's the thing. That's what a lot of paintballers don't do. Is they will take their stuff at the end of the day, filthy, full of broken paint and everything else, and throw it in their bag and not touch it until they go to the field again. No, before I put it back in the bag, I clean it completely and put it back the way it's supposed to be for me. So mine works when I take it out of the bag.
I'm saying I know a couple of dudes that all they do is complain about their T15s never working.
Yeah, I've heard that. I also don't. I've heard a lot of complaints around the full auto not functioning correctly. I don't see a point to a full auto on a first strike mark. That's $5 a magazine. $5. Not worth it.
Bitcoin is crushing it. You didn't know we could afford it.
Yeah, I know. Yes, my girlfriend was just talking about Bitcoin not too long ago. Okay. Oh, she's laughing now. But
no, but it's funny you said that because the number one complainer of my friends has got the T15. It has the full auto sear. So.
Saying waste of money. Waste of money. You can't put box mag. Not a good box mag.
Yeah, but no, I'm just a big fan of the PE thing because it's for that dude that doesn't clean his gun. Like I have for the mechanical events, I use the mechanical 170, so it's like the same insides.
Yeah,
bro, I would I do because I'm like you. I clean my shit, but I know dudes that haven't cleaned that gun ever. Nothing fucking still works. Money.
I never clean it when you lent it to me.
Yeah.
No, I've always admired PE guns. I know they have fantastic customer service. A lot of my friends who are on teams that are sponsored by PE in one form or another, they've had just nothing but fantastic experiences with them, working with them directly. So I'm like, it's a good company, and it makes me laugh so much that you had all these companies that were steeped in milsim kind of stuff. They all had their shots at MagFed, and then here you have a speedball company, essentially, for all intents and purposes, a speedball company come in, throw a MagFed marker down on the table, and go, partake. It works, and then they follow up with a fantastic magazine. Like, come on.
Yeah. No, dude, you're right. That's what I'm saying.
They know what they're doing over there in the UK.
They clearly do. So
I think the same thing about the EMEC, dude. Like
that's what it is. That's all it is. So
and an EMEC and a 170 are pretty much the same insides too, man.
What's funny is on the MG and the EMEC, if you remove, I forget which O-ring it is off the core, it turns into a full auto with 18 balls a second.
That's an expensive first strike mag.
No, that's where you throw the MCS box mag on it. And that runs really well with it, apparently. So I know a lot of people have converted their dam box mags to run correctly off of that, because with the dam you needed that Bluetooth sync.
Yeah, but you can circumvent that. I don't know how.
Yeah, you got to have a rotor.
Yep, you put the rotor internals in it, and then it just feeds it no matter what anyway.
Yep. So yeah, there's ways around it. I had
one. I got rid of it. I couldn't be bothered. Like we were talking about having a lot of guns and selling them. That was the one gun I had a dam for a little bit, and it was like a fun toy, but it ended up not being something I used that much.
You spend more time off field teching that thing.
Yeah, and then some dude was like, "Hey, I'll give you money for that gun," and I said, "Take it, dude. I'll take the goddamn money." Jesus.
There you go. So,
but it was cool. The box man was definitely cool. I did that though. I took out the Bluetooth parts, put in the rotor bottom, so it constantly fed, and it was a good time.
So yeah, I'm not just a MagFed only guy. I do them both.
Just about even question. Jesus.
So, yeah, I'll eventually get back there. Don't worry.
We'll get there.
Yeah. So I only actually I've been playing MagFed a while. 2013 or 2014. I got a Milsig M17 off one of my teammates at the time. And I ran that thing into the fucking ground. It rests in a place of honor in the back of the house right now. It's going to be, I'm building out a pegboard wall that'll serve as a backdrop that has my logo. See, this is me looking at the screen, pointing the wrong side of the chest.
Dude,
it'll have my logo painted on it, and it also, like, my old X7 Phenom will be mounted on that.
Yeah.
My old 15 or M17 T15 is getting sold. It didn't last long enough to get the place of honor. But yeah, no, my M17's internals are all rusted out. Like, that thing has been beat to hell. So
yeah, and don't worry about the finger thing. You're episode 83, and I still can't get the finger thing right, so don't worry about it.
Fair enough. But my mini holds true. I got a freak board, carbon fiber barrel with it. I run an LVL loader on top. I know people have feelings about the LVL. I'm not running tournaments and running into bunkers though, so
yeah.
I'm okay.
Dude, what I like when it comes to loaders, dude, I feel like a loader is a loader, like whatever you want.
It really is. Again, I don't need a Ferrari in a 25 mile an hour zone. I don't need something that's going to shit balls faster than I can process neurons. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
100% just like what you like. I think they're all the same, whether it's a die rotor, whether it's a GI loader. Like, I use the Bunker King one because I like the shape. It's pretty much the only reason why.
Yeah, I know the Bunker King has that tilt meter thing too, right?
I don't use it.
Okay, yeah, I looked at that. I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's
an interesting feature, but like, yeah, it's pretty much like, dude, when a game is happening, like, that is the last fucking thing I'm concerned about. Like, there are 900
rounds are landing.
Yeah, like, I'm worried, who's shooting me? Where is this guy moving to? Shit, I got to reload a pod. Oh my god, the dude over here died. Like, I'm not interested about the level of the loader.
Exactly. So, but yeah.
But no, I'm glad I brought that up, because even I had that thing. Like, it's not like I know you super well, but I follow you on social media, and if I didn't ask you, I would have thought you're like the MagFed guy, dude.
Oh geez, don't say that. No, don't say that. People will get angry. So
no, dude, but you crush it, because you're bro, it's 2020. You got to be on your internet, dude, and you're constantly posting where you are and things that you're doing, and that's really important, dude, to shedding light on this like cool little hobby we all share, man.
Yeah, no, I certainly try. My girlfriend just threw me a thumbs up. She's like, see, you're doing it right. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of that came from my experience with TSOC, because I had to kind of figure out how to do that, because I was managing the social media accounts for TSOC during the last couple of years of my time on the team. And so I figured out what works as far as like how the hashtags work. How frequently should you post to the point where people aren't going to mute you? Because there's oversaturation you have to worry about too. When it comes, social media is particularly fickle, and Instagram is a pain in the ass. It's very much pay to play. So I can't stand Instagram. So Facebook's easier, just in general.
Yeah.
All hail the Zuck. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I try not to overpost. I try to put stuff that's relevant out there. I don't try to shove things down people's throats. I honestly, at this point, if it were not for paintball, I wouldn't even use most of social media.
Dude, me and you're the same boat, dude.
It's obnoxious. Especially, it's just gotten more and more toxic over the last 5-6 years, and it's just like, oh god. The amount of people I have hit unfollow. I won't unfriend you. Everyone's entitled to their opinions about various topics. Mm-hmm. But if you are just shoving your opinion down somebody's throat constantly, I'm just going to unfollow. Whatever, dude. Have fun.
Me and you are rowing the boat in the same direction because I'm the same way. Like, dude, I'm kind of here for like paintball and other like happier things. Like, if you're not kind of about that, like, yeah, I'll mute you, dude, with a heartbeat.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to figure out how to edit my own videos because I used to run a cam. I have a bunch of backlog stuff. I use
at it. You just gotta get into it. And
I have Vegas 14. I have not used it. So
just upload one of them.
Yeah, it just like you said, like I, as someone who's gotten into it a little bit now, who doesn't have a ton of experience, it's just really get into it and getting familiar with whatever program like you want to use. Because that's like where I'm at now. Like I look at some of the videos I first started made to now, and it's like the only real difference is now the editing program I use, like I know how to use all the features in it and all this stuff. So that's like what I would recommend.
Yeah. The other thing I know through social media interactions was when it comes to people leading games. So you're being asked by either the producer or the field owner or whoever, hey, can you come to this game and command this one side? They're not necessarily asking you because they want to see you win or lose. That doesn't necessarily matter to them as a producer or a field owner. That nobody cares. Sorry. Let me pop some egos with that right now. Nobody cares about your win-loss ratio. They just
like a better term, they want butts and seats, dude.
They want to see you bring bodies. They want to see you be a promoter. You are a partner in that production. That is your job. When it comes to day of, your job now changes to making sure the players that came out to play for you, you spent your social credit to get them there, or you used somebody else to get them there. Whatever it took, their enjoyment is now on you. And then one step up from you is the producer. You work with the producer to make sure those players are having a good time at their scenario because it's their game. You're out there, your name's on the marquee. That's great and all. You get that little bit of ego adrenaline going. That's fine. Enjoy it. But that's not your purpose. Your purpose is to make sure the players are having a good time.
No, dude, you're so right. Like, you got to make sure the players are having a good time because, like you said, they took your advice to come to this game. So they invested in you, and you really got to put a return on them if you want them to come back, dude. It's kind of like that with anything. Like, okay, like I'll give the podcast as an example. Like, I try to ask good questions to provide value for the listeners so they come back. Because guess what? If I just talked about like ding dongs and Twinkies the whole time, like they're not going to come back and listen to episode 84. I
don't know, man. Twinkies got a lot of history though.
They're pretty good, dude. I don't know.
Can't they survive a nuclear holocaust, the Twinkies? So
cockroaches and Twinkies, man.
They'll always make it. But you get what I'm saying? And the same thing goes for the big game. Like you put out, hey, come to this big game. I'm the general. If these kids come out and you're sitting in the car the whole time hanging out, they're like, yo, fuck this guy, bro.
Exactly. So yeah, that's the other side of it. If you have people coming out and everything, you need to be part of it. They need to see you out there doing it, whether you're working the command tent or you're on the field running missions.
Dude, right.
It doesn't matter. They need to see what your effort is into their enjoyment, basically, trying to make sure they have a good time. You're there for leadership for them. Right. You're also you're their customer service dude as far as they're concerned. Their complaints are coming to you first. So that's just how it is. So yeah, I mean, for people that ever want to consider commanding these big games, that's what it is. You need to be on top of your promotional skills and understand what your actual role is. I don't get into the meme war, trash talking stuff. I don't necessarily see advantage
Does that go on nowadays? I feel like that's not how it like used. I feel like back in the day, it used to be more meme wars.
So memes are, as long as they stay funny and don't become personal attacks, I think those are fine. And go nuts with those. When people start getting kind of toxic and venomous in how their memes are put out there or statements they themselves are making, and it's starting to make things personal, that's where you start seeing things turn and things get personal. You start seeing people fight it out on the field in the wrong ways. You want them to shoot it out, hopefully not bonus ball each other too often, but you don't want to see it ever come to physical blows.
I agree.
Right.
So that's where you need to worry about this whole friendly rivalry nonsense. You and the other group may know, hey, we're just having fun, but Joe Snuffy, who's looking at the Facebook page, doesn't know that, and he's now taking it personally because he's got a vested interest because he's playing on one side and not the other, and now he's now throwing punches, and then everyone starts dogpiling. It just cascades. So,
right, dude, it's like you never know what it could trigger. Like, maybe like whatever, like I poke fun at Waldo's weight or some bullshit, but then some other dude is like triggered by that and is like, hey, fuck you, dude, and blah, blah, blah. But meanwhile, like, dude, Waldo's my best friend, dude. Like, bro, he says I suck at paintball, I call him fat, dude, is what we do. Like,
exactly. So, while you and the other people may know, other guy doesn't.
Not everybody.
So,
no, dude, it's a good thing you bring that up because, yeah, sometimes the internet can be an ugly place sometimes, man.
It is a game, people. Bottom line, it is a game.
And we're all here to have fun. Even the internet, it's a game, dude. We're all here having fun.
Whoa. You know my answer to that.
I know.
It's a game I want to
win. I know. It's a game you want to win, dude. Games are much better when you win, right?
Yeah. Oh, no. You don't get me wrong. You want to win. If you can win, you win. But the enjoyment of the players should be your talking.
Frosty, you got to come to a Waldo General game, dude, and you'll see how the
we've clashed, man. We've clashed. We've gone ahead. Living Dead, dude, right?
Flipped the table before.
Yeah, I was at Living Dead.
Oh, that's right, you were.
No, hold on.
I was EXO for the last Living Dead.
Did you
or Red
join the Dizana team because you lost to them?
Because
Living
Dead. No, I was not taken hostage by Tim following that game.
That's hysterical, dude.
No. No. So example of actually what I was talking about. Me, Allie, Tim, Jason, we're all on the same page. We're having fun with it. We're friends. We're all cool with each other. And then there's people in the basically in the comments section of these promotional images we throw up start taking blows at each other and starts getting personal. And then somehow it turns into a 900-man event.
Dude, that game was lit, dude. Lit.
That was not supposed to be that big. We were all blown away. I expected maybe 250 people tops on my side.
Dude,
so we're looking at like
did
a
your job
person game. Shit.
You guys did your job.
We nearly burned the place down. I remember sitting during the second half of the day. I'm sitting in the CP working on the map and the radio, and I have ash falling on my head in the CP. And then I hear over the radio, there's a fire because people are throwing so many smoke grenades and bangers out in the brush. And it's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Dude, my number one big game pet peeve is when the fire breaks out and no one tries to put it out. Like they don't play at that field. That shit drives me crazy. So the woods will be on fire. No one stops shooting. Fucking drives me crazy. So
Bones and Ashes last month, I XO'd for the blue team for Ryan Harris from Venom against Chuck Garza on the red with Stephen Graham. And Saturday, we had a pretty nasty smoke grenade fire just outside our CP, maybe about 40 yards just south of it. Players immediately, just no mask even, because our staging was right there. Players are just running out there. People are dumping coolers, loading them with water, running out there. People dragging trash cans out there because
damn, so
it was right. Yeah, it was big. Sorry?
There's like a creek real close.
There was a little water hole right there, just conveniently enough, and people got in a daisy chain and started bailing water. My ass ran across the street to the bathroom area, kicked in a door, and pulled a fire extinguisher out and like hauled ass. And I ran out of gas just as I'm passing the CP. People were like, "Why is he walking?" Because this thing weighs like 50 pounds, and I'm out of breath, man. And nobody was taking it. So I'm like, all right, I'm still going. So, and we ended up just blasting it at the end. They managed to get it down where it's just smoking. So, I mean, yeah. So sometimes, yes, right. Players will take advantage of the fire and somehow rush around and think that's a better thing to do, even though
it happens to me all the time. Like, I'll try and put it out, and like I've literally had dudes on the other team like shoot me, be like, "Ref, get that guy out!" And he looks at me, and be like, "Dude, we're trying to put out the fucking fire. Can you stop shooting?"
Right.
And it happens all the time, dude. I can't even tell you how many times I've seen it happen.
It does. It's frustrating. It's like, be a human being.
It drives me crazy, dude.
So that's fair.
Oh, we won the game, but the fucking paintball field burnt down. Thanks a lot. Anyway, end of rant. I'm done.
No, I don't think anyone's going to disagree.
All right. Yeah. So, dude, thank you for being so generous with your time. I really appreciate you.
No, thank you guys.
To us for so long. But at the end, I always give, there's two things I want you to do. One, give a shout out to any person that's kind of helped you in your paintball career get to you. And we know Dizana, but if there's any other sponsors you have that you want to plug, man, plug them away.
So like I mentioned before, Ryan Sexton, the Brigade program, been extremely supportive of me over the last couple of years. So go check out the Brigade program. It's brigadeprogram.com. He's also in the progress of setting up an online store. The Brigade program is now officially detached from GI. So any event, regardless of who is supplying the paint, can be a Brigade event. And also because of that, his online store is going to have all these different brands available on there. So if you're interested, want to throw somebody who is extremely supportive of the paintball community as a whole, as well as he's a event producer. He runs ASE Productions and does events out in Avid and Texas. So Avid's in Oklahoma and official paintball games in Texas. I forget what town it is, but it's Texas. And so he does a bunch of that. He travels all over the country helping to support events. He's XOing the blue team for Living Legends this year. So I'm playing with him for that.
Hell yeah.
So if you get a chance looking for some stuff, he's still setting up the shop. You can check it out on Facebook. Just search the Brigade program. And again, brigadeprogram.com. And then, obviously Tim. I mean, I couldn't do most of the stuff I'm doing right now if not for Tim. So all hail the Tim. I have, not just me, Panda and I have created so much work for that man with the whole scenario sponsorship program. We warned him. He didn't believe us. And that first week when we announced it, I don't think Panda and I's Facebook messengers, phones, nothing stopped for about 3 weeks. We had so much interest generated from that. And we're still kind of sifting through like teams that are interested. But yeah, and obviously Overshot has their code. I have a Frosty code as well.
Use either one. Just make sure you guys are saving money.
No, listen, I spammed mine on your thing. You spam yours here. Ready to
go. Fair enough. Yeah, that's true. I remember that. Yeah, so use Frosty for 10% at checkout if you feel so inclined. I did.
Just make sure you're saving money. That's all I mean. Yeah, just make sure you're saving money.
I did have Tim do up a bunch of shirts with my logo on it. Just charcoal gray, has Dizana on one sleeve, a distressed American flag on another. Simple, nice design, good shirts. Hopefully they'll be on the site next time he does a big update. We're looking to do more than just my brand up there. We're going to hopefully have a couple team brands as well, is kind of the idea. So people can support friends that are on these teams. Maybe family members want their family members' team swag for themselves, hats, t-shirts, that kind of stuff. We're still kind of working through how we can make that work out, but that's kind of the intent behind it. Hopefully soon.
Dude, stick. That's hell yeah.
So yeah, because again, it's partnership. We want to promote our teams as much as they do for us. So it just makes sense to me. And then obviously Outdoor Extreme, OXCC is my home field. So that's Outdoor Extreme Chesapeake City. It is where Endless Legends will be in October. It is where Super Game Maryland is in August. Obviously, the Collapse in December. Just go to that one. Be there. And then actually the first one for this year will be Kill Confirmed, which is the same weekend as Living Legends in May. So I unfortunately can't be in two places at once, but Panda will be at that one. So you can go harass Panda at Kill Confirmed. That's put on actually by Soup Can Cox. I know you guys had Reggie on the show a couple sessions back as well. So.
I know a bunch of those dudes. Like I feel like because I've been going to OXC for a couple of years now, so like I know a bunch of those dudes.
Yeah, no, they're great, and we're happy to bring them into the Dizan family as well. That Panda did all the legwork on that and making that happen. So, but yeah, OXCC, great field. If you get the opportunity to go. It's flat. Just keep that in mind. It's flat. Really nice. And he's constantly making changes to the field. They did that big cargo field there that they used for final battles. It is a cage match. It is brutal.
It's small. It's really not that big.
No, it's not. It's the size of, I think, 2 or 3 tournament-sized fields.
I think it's like 1.5. I think it's 1.5.
No, it's
Maybe.
2. It's 2 speedball fields because they used to. It's 2 speedball.
Yeah,
fields.
they had a bunch there. Yeah. So it's brutal in there. It is an outright cage match. I know he's looking to demolish Legoland in that northwest corner of the field, and he wants to put up a new kind of close quarters combat structure back there. Hopefully we see that by the end of this year, because I would absolutely love to use that during the collapse. I have ideas. And then you have Outdoor Extreme Hatfield. Used to be Lehigh Valley Paintball South. I think that's on 403, if I'm not mistaken. So just north of Philadelphia.
Pennsylvania somewhere. I've been there. I know that.
Pennsylvania. It's a great small field. They do Splat-A-Ween there every year. That's put on by Big E, who you also had on the show. And Big E's a great producer. I'm
great guy.
Always happy to work with him. He had me this past year be his Dr. Finkelstein for Nightmare Before Christmas. So I got to go be a grouch with a lab coat and randomly flipping teams' sticks like their flags out when they weren't looking. So and then they Brian Barno, the owner, just also bought Lingelstown Paintball, so that is now Outdoor Extreme Lingelstown. And they just had their grand opening this past weekend, and it looked like a great attendance for that. So it's a little of a hike for me, but awesome. Yeah, they're going to pour a whole lot of tender love and care into that field because it has needed it. So I'm excited to see. Yeah, I wouldn't say desperate need, but it's needed some updates, and Brian is going to take care of that without a doubt. So I'm excited to see what he works on with that field. It's a bit of a hike for me. It's like a 3.5-hour drive, so it's a little tough sometimes to make it out that far. But I try to keep it like a 2-hour radius for me before I'm like. What I like to. That's my wheelhouse. Yeah. So those drives back can be kind of tough.
Especially like Waldo and I live on Long Island, so it's always.
Yeah, you guys have a 2-hour built in no matter what.
So that's what I'm saying. 2 hours there is my max. I know coming back, it's probably closer to 3 or 4 at least.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the sponsor plugs. Go check them out. So.
Yeah, man. Definitely go support them. Again, dudes, Steve, Frosty Solo joining us, dude. Again, thank you so much for spending so much time with us. We really appreciate it. I'm sure you got things to do on your night, and dude, we'll definitely have you back. Not at all.
I mean, we could go for another 2 hours, and then just.
But dude, we'll definitely have you back on to talk more stuff. You're like our Into This Scenario world and Dizana, so I'm sure once you play some more events, you give us some recaps. I'd love to hear about your travels coming up.
No, absolutely. I can tell you I have a busy schedule already. I'm Living Legends in May. June is going to be Super Game Indiana. July is going to be Ion. August is Super Game Maryland. And then September.
When's Super Game Indiana? Do you have that in front of you?
That is, it's the same weekend as NXL Philly. It is.
Get married. No, never mind. Don't tell me more.
25, 26, 27. And then September starts a just cascade of events back to back. I got Herc Cell Team 6 game out at Cousins, Long Island one weekend. The following weekend, I'm going to be out in Guthrie, Oklahoma, and Avid for ASE Presents Yesterday's Heroes, which is Ryan Sexton's game. The weekend after that is Endless Legends at OXCC. And then the weekend after that, I have a MagFed meetup. So I have 4 weekends back to back of multi-day events with travel of like at least 2 hours in each direction. So,
dude, perfect. So we have some free time. Yeah, we'll definitely have you back on. I'd love to recap, tell our listeners what you've been up to. Let us know how awesome these events were, dude. We'd love it.
No, absolutely. Hopefully I figure out how to edit videos by then. So.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, any questions you got, I'll do my best to answer. I am not a pro by any stretch of the imagination, but if you got any questions, of course I'll help you out.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Dude, again, listeners, thank you for joining us, hanging out with us on this episode. We're so lucky that you spend so much time with us, and we'll catch all of you guys on the next episode. Take it easy, guys.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. catch me howling at the moon.